Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.
Welcome into the NBA Tip-Off Show here at WagerTalk TV. Happy Wednesday, January 25th. We've got a great crew of panel joining us today, a full slate of NBA to go over. We have Rob Vino, we have Jay Money, Skee Profit, great crew lineup. We're going to go through our contrarian play of the day. We have a featured game, overtime, best bets, and that's my dog. But before we get into our NBA slate, let's see what the guys have up for plays today. Skee Profit, what do you have going on over at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, a little bit of an unusual day for me. People know I'm a shooter shoot kind of guy, but so far today in the NBA, only one play that I really love. Still trying to talk it out with everybody, see if I can add as the day goes on, as we get injury news, etc. And I do have one other play I like in college basketball. So two plays up and available at wagertalk.com. And let's see if we can talk out some more winners here.
Rob Vino, what's going on for you at WagerTalk?
Good afternoon, Megan. Over there we got a couple of NBAs up and available right now. College to come, but right now NBA is up and available. WagerTalk.com. Last night, one sole play. It was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who disappointed against the Knicks. So we look to get that back tonight. Like I say, a couple of plays in the NBA up and available right now. WagerTalk.com.
And Jay Money, our first time working together, but I'm a huge fan of your show over at NBA Talk on YouTube. So what do you have up there on your show for us?
Yeah, so earlier today, man, had my guy Skee on the show, and then yesterday we had Rob on the show. So we have an array of Wager Talk cappers on the show Monday through Friday. That's what we do, man, giving out picks. NBA Talk with Jay on YouTube, man, and can't wait to talk out some NBA with my guys and you today, Megan. Can't wait to do it, man. So let's get to it.
Well, we have a full slate of NBA to go over right here on the NBA Tip-Off Show, but make sure you go and check out our panel's picks and plays and everything that they have going on for this week. Without further ado, it's time to look and see what the contrarian gods have up for us. The contrarian play of the day is Raptors +3. The Toronto Raptors are taking on the Sacramento Kings tonight. Tip-off at 10 p.m. Eastern. Kings are a 3-point favorite, and the total's at 238. I'm kind of going against the gods, and I've been proven wrong here before. Rob, I'm going to start with you. The Kings are looking like a team that's ready to take it to the next level. They can score. They are second best offensive rating in the NBA. They've won 7 of the last 8. The Raptors are struggling. Are you riding with the contrarian gods on this one?
Yeah, you know what? You're not the only one to feel the wrath of the contrarian gods, Megan. I feel like I've been feeling it for about 3 years now. So far be it from me to agree with them on a regular basis, but I might here tonight. Everything you pointed out about Sacramento is true. There's no real reason to fade Sacramento here. I think from my perspective, it's more of a play on Toronto at this point in time. Couple of factors involved. Of course, the health of OG Anunoby is really important here. I mean, without him, you don't want Toronto, but it seems like he might be able to go in this game. If he does, I would like that side. For a good portion of the year, Fred VanVleet had not been shooting well for this team, but recently he has picked it up quite a bit, and it's helped their overall offensive flow. It's helped their overall offensive production the last 2 games against Boston and the Knicks, where Toronto covered both of those. Kind of shows me that, and I've been waiting for this somewhat this year. Jay, I know we talked about it a little bit. Is Toronto looking away from the playoffs, or are they looking toward making a run? They kind of have stutter-stepped their way to this point, but to me, it looks like they're a team that still believes they can get into the playoffs and do some damage. There's a lot of veterans on this crew. I'm going to look that way here against Sacramento. It's the first of an important West Coast swing. It's going to be an extended West Coast swing for them. And generally speaking, if I think I have a team somewhat on the ascension that's going on a road trip in their first game, I feel like that's where the excitement level is the highest. So I generally will play a team in that situation. That's a situation that occurs here. So nothing I played myself here, but for sake of the segment and the mindset of the contrarian gods, I'll stay on their side tonight, take Toronto +3.
I don't know why I keep going against them. I've been proven wrong before, but at the end of the day, Toronto is 5 of 11 against the spread in their last 16 road games. Jay Money, what's your play here?
Yeah, I kind of want to, man. Rob kind of took everything that I was gonna say, man. Shout out to Rob, man. But I agree with him, right? OG is a huge factor in this game. He's their best wing defender as well. You need that going up against the Kings here, and he also nailed it, man. First game before a 7-game road trip, and this is something I've been tracking for the past couple of years as well. And it hasn't been well for the home team, especially when you're coming off a home, when it's the last game of a homestand, and then when it's a 4 or more road game trip coming up, it's a horrible spot for the home team here, man. So, and we like to look at how the Raptors play in Sacramento with them traveling obviously cross country as well. They're 4-0-1 against the spread last 5 meetings in Sacramento, and 7-3 against the spread last 10 meetings regardless period versus the Kings here. So I have to rock with the Contrarians here and go with the Toronto Raptors +3 in this one.
All right, Skee, you're my last bit of hope. We've got Rob and Jay rolling with Toronto +3. They like the contrarian gods here. What's your take?
Yeah, I'll rock with you on this one, Megan. The only thing, that I don't like for the Kings is they're just not the kind of team I usually want to lay points with. But if I look at it as, it's only a -3, that's pretty much just asking them to win a game. It gets a little bit simpler for me, right? Toronto, I think 6-15 or something like that on the road compared to the Kings, who are 16-10. Kings have been playing better basketball lately, winning 6 of their last 7 games. And you talked about the offensive rating on the year. Last 5 games, they're number 1. They've been the better rebounding team. This is a top 10 3-point shooting team in the Kings going up against a bottom 3 3-point defense in the Raptors. And I just see a lot of things wrong on this Raptors team. Like, they're going to be making some moves. I think it was Rob who brought it up. If they're trying to figure out if they're trying to go up or they're just going to tank or whatever the case may be, I think they're going to start to move some of these guys and, not win as many games. So I would go with the Kings, the hotter team, the home team. It's not in my pocket, but not rolling with the contrarian gods today.
I like it, Skee. One thing that I'm going to be eyeing is Kings team total. It's at 120.5 right now. They've been putting up points right now. So if you want to shy away from the spread and look from a total perspective, that's something that I'm going to eye. All right, let's get into our featured game. The game of the day is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies at Golden State taking on the Warriors. Tip off at 10 p.m. Eastern. We've got Warriors as a 3.5-point favorite, and the total's at 245.5. Grizzlies have lost 3 in a row after previously being on an 11-game win streak. What's happening in Memphis? Jay, we'll start with you first. Grizzlies are on their 4th game of a 5-game road trip. What do you expect in this one?
Yeah, and they've lost every single game on this road trip as well, and that's the main thing that scares me. We know that the Grizzlies are going to get up from this for this one as well. 3 straight losses. They're 0-4 against the spread as well, last 4. But I think the main thing holding me back on this game is that the Grizzlies obviously have playoff revenge as well versus the Warriors. They got kicked out of the playoffs last year, and they got their butts kicked on Christmas Day as well. So double revenge for the Grizzlies. No Steven Adams, but I do expect Ja Morant to duel with Steph Curry in this one. It's obviously hard to go against the Warriors at the house though. But if I'm betting this game, I'm probably going with the under. I do think this total is way too high for me. 245.5. I'd be looking towards the under in this one. Guys like Dillon Brooks, as we know, he's going to try to muck it up as well. Warriors are going to try to play some defense coming off that home loss to the Nets. So give me the under 245.5 in this one.
Yeah, I like that look there. Another interesting point is John Morant has been doing fantastic, and I think it's a revenge game for him. They got humiliated Christmas Day, losing to Golden State. Let's not forget that Golden State eliminated them from the postseason last year. But John Morant's going to be without Adams, and Adams creates holes for Morant to score. I think that's an interesting loss, and it's more significant than many may want to pay attention to. Skee, how are you approaching this one? Memphis at Golden State.
Yeah, I think Adams is a big piece, but at the same time, Jaren Jackson, he's been a lot of what's been good for Memphis, a lot of the reason why their defense is that good. And it's just a matter of, if, for the season, if he can stay healthy and if he can stay out of foul trouble, because that's his big problem is that he just racks up those fouls. Because if he does that tonight, I don't think they really have a chance. And I feel like this Grizzlies team, if they were going to get revenge, they should have did it on Christmas Day. This is now a Warriors team who is just as pissed. They've lost a couple games in a row. They're at home where they've been playing the best basketball over the past couple years. They have the rest advantage 2 days compared to one. So I know home favorites with rest advantage win about 72.5% of the time straight up. And just like I mentioned in the Kings game, with a -3, -3.5, that's pretty much just asking this team to win. I type in the Warriors off of a loss at home going back to 2020. I have them 36-9 straight up, 32-13 against the spread. This is their role. I will hardly ever, I won't say never, hardly ever bet against the Warriors in this spot. It's the only way I would look today. Golden State.
Not only that, the Warriors are getting healthier. Like, we have to remember, it takes some time for that chemistry to build back up with Wiggins in, Steph Curry. Wiseman is probable in this matchup. I like where you're looking here, Skee. Rob Vino, how are you playing Memphis at Golden State?
I think I'll shorten it up, Megan, and I'll somewhat disagree. Play the first quarter over the total here. It's 60.5. Golden State's the best, or excuse me, not the best, the second best first quarter over team in the NBA right now, 30-16 to the over in first quarters for the Warriors. I would expect them in a game that obviously it doesn't have playoff implications, but it's got that type of atmosphere when these two get together. You'd expect both teams to come out ready to go here. Memphis certainly did not do that in their last game against Sacramento, got beat by 33, gave up 47, I think, in the first quarter. If they do that tonight, that'd be just fine by me. We talked about Steven Adams here a little bit, and let me just zero in on a couple of things. And Memphis is the number one rebounding team in the NBA for a reason. That reason is Steven Adams for the most part. That's what he does. That's basically all he does, but he's really good at it. And in that Sacramento game, they get out rebounded by 22 by the Kings. That should never happen with Domantas Sabonis at center for the Kings. They're a relatively small team, and when they run Xavier Tillman out there like they will tonight as their starting center, the Memphis Grizzlies become a small team. To me, that means less rim defense. To me, that means more pace to the game. Golden State, like I say, proven all season long that they're very explosive in the first quarter, 30-16 to the over. I think Memphis, off of what happened the other night and off of 3 consecutive, I'd call them bad losses here out on the West Coast. They were favored, I think, to win all 3 up until the injury report came out last game when Ja was scratched, and then there was a reversal of favorites. But they have to come out hot here. I think they will. I'm going to try over 60.5 first quarter in this game.
Well, these are two very fast-paced teams. Warriors first, Grizzlies third. Total at 245.5. Tip-off at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Speaking of totals, it's time for overtime. Our overtime game of the day is going to be the Spurs at the Lakers. 243.5 is the current total. It hasn't moved much. Tip-offs at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Lakers are a 6.5-point favorite. Anthony Davis is set to return. He's back. Unless something happens at pregame warmup, we're expecting AD to be out there on the court tonight. Now, the thing is, he's probably not going to be out there for an extended period of time. They're going to keep him somewhat limited, dealing with a foot injury, coming back a little bit quicker than what was expected. Lakers went 10-10 without him. Lakers did just lose to the Clippers last night. LeBron put up 46 points, and still they managed to get a loss. Again, fast-paced teams, especially when you look at the Lakers. But the Spurs have lost 9 of their last 11. Skee, we're coming to you first. How are you approaching this one?
Yeah, it's a high total, but it's really hard to go against it. The one thing I'll mention that I always talk about, Lakers, and you kind of talked about it a little bit there. Lakers defense is absolutely garbage whenever Anthony Davis is not on the floor. He will return today, but I mean he's been out for so long, you can expect he's going to have a minutes limit here. And you're going up against a Spurs team that is the worst defensive rated team in the league the last 5 games, a Spurs team that is the worst team defending the three. And like you also mentioned, Megan, they're going to play up tempo here, number 2 and number 8 in pace the last 5 games. So if you're telling me all of that, I know LeBron is questionable. We'll see if he goes on his back to back, but I do think the pace will be there. I still think no defense will be played, and that should be enough to get them up and over the total. Um, I'll leave the side alone just because I'm not into laying this kind of number with the Lakers the way they've looked this year, especially not knowing if LeBron or LeBron is going to play in Anthony Davis' first game back. I probably would even lean more towards taking the Spurs, but for the sake of the segment, um, overtime game, we will go up and over the 243.
Spurs are allowing the most points per game, allowed 130 or more in their last 5 losses. Rob Vino, are you riding with the over or riding with the under in this one?
It's, there's theoretical reasons, Megan, to try under, but I got to sweep all those into the garbage because it's the Spurs. Jay, you and I had this talk on Monday where we were talking about how high the totals have become, right? Seemingly there's 3 or 4 games every day listed in the 240s. And when we spoke the other day, I talked about some hesitancy to play overs now. I'm really starting to think before I just jump at these overs with bad defensive teams. But the one team I won't hesitate with is the San Antonio Spurs. And God bless them, they did me right the other night because they played Portland and got to 274. Just going to give you 5 of their game totals in their last 6 games: 264, 257, 251, 259, 274, all well over 243 and a half. So while Anthony Davis could be rusty and clog some things up, where Rui Hachimura is going to get some minutes here, he's going to make his debut, maybe that clogs some things up. I still don't know that any of that is enough to overcome the miserable San Antonio defense and their penchant for pace and scoring points. They've shot it real well from the field in their last 2 games, 52.2, 57.3, and they've shot it real well from three. So in a team full of interchangeable parts, it doesn't bother me that Romeo Langford has a question mark next to his name because it's like a team made up of 7 Romeo Langfords. For this overtime segment, Megan, I'll try over because I just can't play any under at this price involving the Spurs right now. I think their line in the sand becomes 250 with that team.
Our very own Joe Ranieri, I heard him on a segment earlier today saying, hey, maybe the play is you hold off and you wait and bet it live when the total maybe strikes up to 260, 265 with a fast-paced offense in the first quarter, expecting them to not be able to keep that up in the second half. Everything's up for grabs here. Jay Money, how do you approach this one?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go contrarian here. I'm gonna look towards the under in this one, mainly because obviously Anthony Davis coming back, so it's a little bit more defense. You bring in Hachimura in there as well, so he's kind of gonna that's gonna mess up the offense a little bit. You're kind of trying to let him shine. It's taking away from the flow a little bit as well, man. So the Spurs do have triple revenge here. So I mean, it could be if there's gonna be a little game where they want to play a little chippy, man. It might be this one, man. But the main thing, Davis coming in there, he's obviously the best defender. Whatever minutes he played, I think the whatever minutes that he does play in this game, I think the defensive rating is going to skyrocket in this one. Could be the pace could be a little bit slower. So I mean, these are all-star game type of numbers, man. I feel like a lot of things have to go right. Spurs do play at a really fast pace, I must say, but I think the Lakers sneakily could play some nice defense here. And the thing on LeBron as well, man. I'm not sure if he plays. Might let AD get his feet wet a little bit. That's how they do it sometimes. And coming back to back, he took 29 shots yesterday, man. So 46 points. I don't see him playing, but I mean he could play. Who knows? It's LeBron, but I'm gonna go contrarian. Give me under 243.
Yeah, it might be worth waiting on that one to wait and see if LeBron will be out there tonight. By the way, Lakers team total at 124 and a half. Always like to give that as an option here when we talk overtime. But now it's time to talk a little bit of dogs, our underdog segment of the day. Excited to get your guys' take on who you guys have and who you're riding with as the dogs. All right, our favorite underdogs we've got for today is the Indiana. We got Indiana, Brooklyn, Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, Houston, Memphis, Utah, Toronto, and San Antonio. I'll start with you, Jay. Any dogs barking at you?
Man, I was gonna go with Atlanta. Unfortunately, they flipped from a dog to the favorite, but I'll go with I guess I'll go ahead and go with the Raptors in that one, man. That's the best dog. I want to say the Spurs with the triple revenge, but I can't do it with the worst team in the league. But give me the Raptors, basically going against the whole world. Give me the Raptors plus the 3, man, for my dog today.
Jay, I'll just say my take is if you open as a dog and the day starts and you're still a dog, it's still fair. Skee, what are you looking at for our underdogs in tonight's slate?
I am struggling to find an underdog today, but I guess the way I'll go here is I will go with the Spurs. I just don't feel like the Lakers have proven, that they should be favored by 7, 6.5 points. Like until they start to play some consistent defense, until they get everybody back into their regular roles and playing minutes. Like they just got a new player in Rui. They have to integrate him. Just getting Anthony Davis back. Might be without LeBron. I need to see a little bit more consistency with them, winning by this kind of margin before I expect them to do so. So I'll take the Spurs plus 6.5 as my dog today.
Rob Vino, who's barking at you for the underdogs?
Well, none of them are really barking, Megan, but the one I can hear kind of the loudest would be I'm going to try Brooklyn. It's a really strange situation, right? Because we often, as NBA handicappers, talk about wanting to fade the team that comes home from an extended West Coast trip and it's their first game at home. Philadelphia fits that mold. You would probably want to fade Philadelphia. However, Brooklyn has the same thing going for them, right? They were on a West Coast swing. They're just coming home. So I look at it this way. Both teams come back red hot. The health of Joel Embiid is still somewhat in question. I think the comeback wins by Brooklyn against Golden State, and then was it Portland? Whoever the second comeback win was against when they came from 25 down to win the game. I think that kind of galvanized this team. Kyrie's leadership was really being called into question at the start of that road trip. Kyrie came through with those back-to-back wins to end the road trip, and it's a big matchup here in the inside the division. So I think plus points. I'll try Brooklyn here, and maybe if Joel is a little bit hindered, it hurts their cause. So give me Brooklyn plus the 5.
We have some people in our comment section. We've got Denver as one of their dogs, Raptors. I just went and asked, so if you guys want to shout out anyone that you're looking at. I like this slate tonight. I mean, we've got some big storylines here, especially coming up after the Lakers' major loss to the Clippers. I'm excited to see what happens here with AD back out in the lineup. All right, let's talk a little best bets. It's time for the best bet segment. We're going to start with Rob Vino. What is your best bet of the day? 60 seconds on the clock. Use it however you'd like. You got to make sure you give us a best bet in those 60 seconds. Ready? Let's go.
All right, let me use the first 5 by saying how happy I am to be here with Jay and Skee. I think it's the first time the 3 of us have been on NBA tip-off together, so good to have these guys to talk through these games. But I'm going to go off the board a little bit, Megan. Generally, I'll speak about a game that we have covered during this particular broadcast. I'm going to go off the board and take the Washington-Houston game over the total of 56.5 in the first quarter. Washington is the best first quarter total team as far as over is concerned in the NBA. I think I saw them at 34-14 or 32-14 over the total. And Houston is not far behind, 27-20. Two really good first quarter teams. Washington's on a back-to-back, which if they're going to have anything left in the tank, I think it would be first half. They may lack a little defense. Houston plays tempo. Jalen Green's red hot right now. I think that even with Monte Morris questionable here, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. We'll see DeLon Wright in there as starting point guard. So give me the total here. I thought the number was low, over 56.5, Washington, Houston.
I like it. By the way, a couple more shout outs for our dogs in the chat. We've got some Utah love, some Nuggets love, and some Memphis love for our dogs of the day. Skee, let's switch over. Best bet, 60 seconds on the clock. Use it however you'd like. Make sure you give us a best bet. And your time starts now.
Yeah, I might not need it, but just in case I do, I'll go ahead and say I like the Cougars first half tonight. So in case I need some extra time from Robert back there. For the best bet in the NBA section, I'm gonna go with the only bet that I have today. It's rare I only have one, but Laurie Markkinen over his 9.5 rebounds. You can get 8.5 if you're scared of the 9.5. 8.5 was -120 or something like that. The 9.5 was +110, but he's had 11 plus in his last 5 games, and that just coincides with Kelly Olynyk being out of the lineup for the Utah Jazz. And Portland, they are ranked 12th in rebound percentage, but he's had some even tougher matchups. I mean, he's gotten it versus the Cavaliers. Magic are a decent rebounding team, so I'm not worried. I've cashed with it the last 2 games. Like I said, it's hit the last 5. And until Kelly Olynyk is back in the lineup or they raise the number, I'll continue to ride Laurie Markkinen over his 9.5 rebounds.
I like that move. Last time Marketing has hit under 9.5 was January 8th. So it's a good one to roll with. Jay Money, what are you looking at for your best bet? 60 seconds. Use it how you'd like. Make sure you give us the best bet.
Hey, shout out to you, man, for having it right there. The last time that he went under, that was nice right there. But for me, man, but yeah, if you guys can, man, NBA Talk with Jay is what I do basically every single day, Monday through Sunday, man. YouTube channel, have my guys Skee on there, Rob, a lot of great guys from Wager Talk on there as well. Special promo codes with their picks as well. So if you can, check out the YouTube channel. And for our best bet today, man, we're gonna go offshore, basically off a game that we talked about today. But give me the Bucks team total over 119.5 versus the Nuggets. It's a horrible spot for the Nuggets, in my opinion. Back-to-back, third game in 4 nights with travel as well. Coming down from New Orleans, so probably they went and got some seafood before they flew off, heading up there to Milwaukee, man. I do not like the spot for the Nuggets or their defense. No one to stop Giannis here. I know they're coming off of scoring 150 points versus the Pistons, but horrible spot for the Nuggets defense here. Give me Bucks team total over 119.5. Let's cash.
Perfect timing. Rob Vino, Ski Profit, Jay Money. It was a pleasure talking NBA with you. Make sure you guys go take a screenshot right now of their best bets for tonight's slate of NBA action. We appreciate you joining us each and every day as we go through basketball and a big game or big slate tonight out there in the association. I appreciate all of you guys. Go cash some bets. Happy Wednesday.
Ready to take your favorite WagerTalk handicappers wherever you travel this football season? The WagerTalk TV app is now live for phones, tablets, smart TVs, and streaming platforms. Tune into your favorite shows like WagerTalk Today, Bet on It, and the Opening Line Report. Plus, browse through our extensive library of sports betting tips. Create your personal playlist of betting tip videos to help you prepare for the upcoming season, and set notifications to alert you when new content is added. Download the app for Apple, Android, Amazon, and Roku devices by searching for WagerTalk TV, or scan the QR code on your screen to join the winning conversation today.